Hi, it's Pete Cohen. Welcome to episode 164 of the My 365 podcast series. Today's podcast is called How to Be Your Own Brand. What? Yes, how to be your own brand. I don't know if you're loyal to particular brands, whether it's Colgate or Mercedes or Kellogg's Cornflakes. People love brands. What if you created your own one, that you stood for it and you were really, really loyal to it? What difference would that make to your life? How to be your own brand. Get ready for another game-changing My 365 podcast. Hi, it's Pete Cohen here. Welcome to episode 164 of the My 365 podcast series. Today's podcast is How to Be Your Own Brand. Now, I find it fascinating why human beings are so loyal to particular brands. And this is one of the things that I encourage you to think about. What is it? Because what if you could be as loyal to a particular brand that you associate with, and maybe you buy all of their products, you wear all of their clothes? What if you could have that same level of loyalty to yourself? So look, take a moment and think, what are the brands that you absolutely love? For me, it's Apple. It is absolutely Apple. Why? I don't know. Maybe it's just how beautiful their products are. But they've got me. They've got me hook, line, and sinker. I mean, as a company, they spend a fortune to get people to be loyal to their products. I actually remember the first iPhone. I queued up for about 3.5 hours to get one. Within a few weeks, no one had to queue. You could just go in and get one. That's what they created. They created this hype, and they created a sense of belonging. And Apple are very clever because their why is to make great products that make our life easy. And people often want that. But I'm a sucker to it because they bring something else and I want it. When the iPad came out, I wanted one. I actually don't even really use my iPad. I also with the Apple Watch, which was one of the poorest investments I've ever made. I just don't like it. I don't wear it. And if anyone wants an Apple Watch, please let me know. I will sell it to you. It's incredible. So let me ask you, are you Apple or are you Samsung? Are you Mercedes or are you Audi? Are you Nike or are you Adidas? If you think about this with all brands, why are we loyal to particular brands? Some of you maybe heard of one of the most famous TED Talks that's ever been given by Mr. Simon Sinek, who talks about it starts with why. That often people now more than ever will buy into a company because of not what they do or how they do it, but why they do it. Companies that maybe are ethical, companies who give something back. But my point about this brand loyalty, what about you and your own brand? What do you stand for? See, what I have seen in all of the years of working with amazing people all over the world is how people don't back themselves, how people don't believe in themselves, and they don't give themselves the loyalty and the respect that they deserve. And I invite you to think about your brand as a person. What do you stand for? What's wildly important to you? What if you could create your own brand and decide that this is what your brand stands for? Now, my advice, if you wanted to do this, and this is my challenge to you, is to get out a piece of paper and a pen and get some colored pens and start to get creative. Open up the creative part of your brain. I'm so fortunate to work with some amazing people, and just behind this camera actually is a massive picture of what Patty Dolbowolski did for me. Patty is actually my coach. We coach each other, and she's a visual creator. She helps people and organizations look at where they are and where they want to go. And you can Google her. There's a couple of TED Talks that you can watch where she talks about your current reality and your desired reality. Now, you could look at that with your brand and think, what does my brand stand for today? It might seem like a strange thing to do, but we know that people don't change when we tell them what to do. If I stood here and told you what to do, you'd probably feel some form of reactance to that, thinking, I'm not doing that. Who are you to tell me what to do? It's fascinating. Even when you tell people to do something that they know is good for them, psychological reactance can come to the fore. So in order to get that reactance out of the way, get excited about creating a brand. This is what companies probably do right at the early stage. They think, well, what is it that we want to create? What do you want to create? So what does your brand stand for? And what do you want your brand to be about? Personally, for me, this is where people might think about their mission statement. Companies have mission statements. My mission statement is to inspire millions of people all around the world to be better, to create their own brand. That's my goal. It gets me up every single morning. So my brand, because it stands for that, I don't have a problem getting out of bed because I'm inspired to work towards something. What about you? How could you create loyalty to where it is that you want to go? So with your brand, where do you want your brand to go? Where do you want to be in a year's time? And I think there are three important areas of our life that we should all look at, right? Whoops, I just spoke like that for some reason. There are three areas, which is your health and your well-being and your family and your relationships. And the third is your work and service. So why not take a bit of time to think about, okay, my brand, this is me, this is what I stand for. How do I operate in these three areas? And often it's the simple things that we do every single day that over time bring about a better brand. So what does your brand stand for? What is its desired reality? Where do you want to go? How do you want your life to be? And as you take time to think about that, get excited. Get excited about being healthier, being weller, having more energy, having more vitality. Get excited about being a better mother or father, or being a better daughter or employee or employer. And also think about the sense of satisfaction of having created it. Look, I wear my brand. I know some of you might be watching this on YouTube. Look, My365, this is my brand. This was made for me, this shirt, right? I love to wear it. I'm very loyal to the coffee that I drink. I'm very loyal to this coffee cup, which has our brand on it. What if you could be loyal to yourself? It's what people want, loyalty. And how do you create loyalty? It's about creating trust. And how do you create trust? Well, it's such a simple thing. It's you doing what you say you're going to do. And this is why often people are loyal to brands, because companies who do what they say they're going to do. That's not important to everyone, but to a lot of people it is, especially when you think about brand loyalty to an employee, of why an employee might stick around working for a company because they feel that they are the company. But you are your own company. You are your own person. And this is where loyalty and trust comes from. It's such a simple thing, it's such a simple message that you might hear it, but you might let this go over your head, or you might actually remember this and feel empowered about it, because ultimately, you creating your brand, it's you, it's what you stand for, not anybody else. Other people might have something similar to you, but it's you. He leaves a long pause. Taking responsibility, responding with the ability that you have. So trust comes from doing what you say you are going to do. This is what confidence is. And this is why a lot of people lack the confidence. Why? Because they've tried in the past. How many times in the past have you tried to create a better brand, a better you? Happier, healthier. You've wanted to read a book, you've bought it, you haven't read it. You've decided to get fit, you've joined a gym, you went for a bit, you stopped. You decided you wanted to lose weight, you ate more green vegetables for a few days, and then you stopped. You wanted to be a better father, better mother, and you took some action for a bit, but then you stopped. You went back to what you were before. You went back to your old brand, your old default. And my challenge to you as your coach, if you see me as your coach, or even if you saw this as a coaching session that I'm giving you, is to do what you say you're going to do. That is where confidence grows. But set yourself up to win. What does that mean? With anything that you say you're going to do, make sure you can actually do it. We're all so obsessed with, I believe, helping other people with their brands. And we often go to the back of the queue. And I feel from what I've experienced and what I see is that is where a lot of people are struggling because they know they're not being the brand that they truly can be. So it's all about branding yourself. How do you do that? It's what you do every single day. It's about showing up. It's deciding to decide these are non-negotiables. And of course it's challenging. Every day it's a challenge even to get out of bed. Especially now, it's a bit colder, so I'll just stay another 5 minutes. It's easier to stay where you are and be the brand that you were rather than thinking, you know what, this is what I'm striving for. Such a simple message, but deeply profound, especially if you actually took some time and got a piece of paper and a pen and got creative. The power of creation. You have the ability to manifest things. You have the ability to stand up for things and stand up for yourself. This is me, this is what I stand for. I stand for better health. I stand for being a great person to my friends, my family, my colleagues. I stand to give my best self to the world. That's where the sense of achievement and fulfillment comes from. So I'd love to know what you're going to take away from this. Take a picture of it, share it with people and ask people, tell people, this is my brand, what about your brand? They might think you're crazy. Brand loyalty, become your biggest fan by doing what you say you're going to do and just do it. Just do it, especially when you don't feel like it. So this is the last point I want to make. Listen, there are so many people all over the world right now that are just wishing they felt different to how they feel right now. If only I felt this, if only I felt that, if only I felt inspired, motivated, passionate, then I'd do it. No. Don't wait to feel anything. You'll be waiting all your life. You've got to take action because that is where the inspiration comes. The hardest thing in many cases is just to get started. The hardest thing now would be for you to go and get a piece of paper and a pen and start thinking about it and writing this down. But once you start, those creative juices will flow. While you're doing it, you might get distracted. You might want to go and have a look at another film trailer or another cat video on YouTube. But to really focus your mind and say, this is me, this is my brand, I want my brand. I want loyalty to my brand like I have loyalty to Apple or Samsung, whoever it is. And take the time to do that. One of the things I've seen that's so powerful is coaching. The power that coaching can have in this process. And that's what we do. I personally know that we have one of the most powerful and successful coaching opportunities in the world where people can be coached anywhere in the world just by having their phone in front of them. It doesn't matter whether it's an Apple, it really doesn't, or a Samsung. It matters that you're ready to change. And if you want to see what coaching can do for you, just go to the domain mi365elite.me/join. That's mi365elite.me/join and just see what coaching can do for you. If you're watching this on iTunes, please leave a comment. We're still in the top 10. It's incredible, nearly after 3 years on news and noteworthy podcasts. And that's because of the power of people like you who listen and make comment and share and really take some time to think about your brand. I believe in you. I believe your future is unwritten and you have the power to change. But for now, have a happy, beautiful day.